So this costume is ridiculously easy to figure out. It's basically sewing a bunch of rectangles on top of each other. Take your custom pattern. The link on how to do this is in the D box. Make the mirror image of each other and add on some sleeves. Pin and sew up the side seams and shoulder seams. For the sleeve, sew the underside of the arm and repeat for the second arm. The armhole and the sleeve should match up. To attach the sleeve, have the shirt inside out. Place the sleeve inside the armhole and pin the seams together. Then match the shoulder seam of the shirt to the top of the sleeve. Now match the halfway mark between those two pins. It should make attaching a sleeve a little bit easier on you. For the cuff, the fabric will be cut a bit wider than the actual sleeve. When folded in half, it will be a bit smaller. Now unfold and fold it in half lengthwise. Sew the one side up. Now invert so that the fabric wrong sides are facing each other to create a cuff. Place it onto the sleeve and keep in mind that the cuff is a little bit smaller, so when you sew you might have to stretch the fabric out a bit. This will actually help give it the ruching effect. Repeat on the other arm. Sketch out a rough hood and sew the back seam. Hem all of the raw edges. Attach the hood to the neckline of the shirt and sew. For the pants, you can make a rough pattern from an old pair of dress pants. It doesn't have to be exact because Sub-Zero's pants are a bit billowy. Place the two fabric pieces right sides together and sew the sides up. This will actually be the center seam. Arrange it so that the center seam are matching and sew the inseams of the pants. Sew a casing at the waist for an elastic. Use a safety pin to slip the elastic into the casing and sew both sides of them together and close the opening. Using the same method earlier for the cuffs, do the same for the bottom of the pants. The rest of the costume is pretty self-explanatory. Part 1 and Part 2 is a long rectangle that drapes from the front waist to the back. Part 3 is just a rectangle that wraps around the waist, and Part 4 is a front apron that ends usually at the knee. Start out with the rectangle according to your measurement. Take a strip of black fabric about 1 inch wide and fold it in half. Place on the edge of the blue fabric and then place the other blue piece on top. Sew up the side. Repeat on the other side of the rectangle as well. When you invert everything, you should have a nice black trim. Go back and top stitch everything. This way, the trim and the other fabrics will lay flat. Now create another 3 piece that would fit you accordingly to match the diagram. Basically, just follow the diagram and attach everything, and that's pretty much it. I would suggest using a medical mask and spray painting it blue for Sub-Zero's mask. Or you could just tie a piece of fabric in the front and then plop it over the hoodie. Good luck, and I'll see you next week with Katana.